Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for joining me for another video. My name's Brainbean, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of Roccat's newest keyboards, this Suora FX. So with that, let's go ahead and just take a look at this thing. The Roccat Suora FX is a keyboard designed for raw performance while doing away with the distractions and flashy extras of a lot of today's keyboards. The Suora features a frameless design, meaning there's simply a backplate big enough for the switches, and that's it. No palm rest, no large elaborate casing, there aren't even LED indicators, but we'll talk more about those later. The keyboard is made up of an aluminum backplate mounted on a plastic case. The keyboard is nice and weighty like most high-end keyboards. It does offer some flex, but only when I mash down on the center of the keyboard. Aesthetically, the frameless design really appeals to my personal taste because I don't really like big bulky keyboards taking up a ton of space on my desk. I also really like when keyboards with clear switch casings go with the exposed switch design because it really accents the lighting. By eliminating the frame, the Suora does this better than most keyboards. The Suora FX is a full 16.8 million color RGB backlit keyboard with per key illumination. The lighting is controlled with Roccat's Swarm software. Additionally, you can swap profiles on the fly using the function key and F1 through 4. The software is pretty robust and offers a pretty good amount of preset lighting effects. These effects include breathing, wave, fade effects, snake, ripple effects, rain, snail, scanning, and radar. You can of course also create custom profiles and effects as well. I found the Swarm software to be really good, but it's a little less intuitive than some others out there when getting into creating custom effects. After spending a little time with it though, it's really not that bad. As for the lights themselves, the Suora FX looks really great. The lights achieve really good color definition from deep shades of darker colors to vibrant neons. My only criticism about the lighting is that I wish there was a layer of white under the keys to really let those lights pop. Overall though, when it comes to the lights, I'm pretty impressed. The keycaps are made out of double-shot ABS plastic, so you don't have to worry about the characters fading over time, and all of the secondary functions are illuminated nicely. The Suora also has a nice minimalistic font that I really appreciate. This keyboard uses TTC mechanical switches, and if you're thinking to yourself, I've never heard of TTC switches, you aren't the only one. TTC, or Trantech Electronics Co., has been around since 1998. Chances are you've used a mouse with TTC switches without even knowing. They've recently got into the mechanical keyboard switch market making Cherry clones. The Suora comes in both blue and brown switch varieties. I chose to get mine with browns, which are my favorite, and performance-wise, these switches feel really good. I'll admit, when I checked the switch and saw it was TTC, I was kind of bummed because many of Roccat's mechanical keyboards before had used Cherry switches. After using them for a while and going back and forth between real Cherry browns and these TTC switches, I actually couldn't tell the difference. These switches feel exactly like Cherry MX browns, both in terms of their tactile feel and overall smoothness. Usually clone switches just don't live up to the real thing. This is the first time I've come across one that actually emulates the original so well, I just couldn't tell the difference. And much like the Cherry MX switches they emulate, they have a lifespan of 50 million keystrokes. Here's a quick sound test of the TTC browns in the Roccat Suora FX. As for features, the Suora FX has full N key rollover and has 6 macro keys. Okay, this one's a little bit of a stretch. As you can see, 6 of the control keys have a M1 through 6 labeled on the key. Obviously, these are meant to serve as macro keys and are advertised as such, but really calling them macro keys on a keyboard with full reprogrammability isn't fair. I really wish that there was a nice row of dedicated macro keys on this keyboard. I get that it goes with the minimalistic design, and I can accept that. I just think that adding an extra ½ inch or so to accommodate the macro keys would be forgivable. As for the suggested macro keys, I get that they're making the most out of the layout, but really, who wants to reach all the way over to the control cluster to use the macros? You do get media keys by way of the function key, and the keyboard does have dedicated volume keys and a game mode key which activates the 6 macro keys that I just talked about. Remember before how I mentioned that there are no LED indicators? Roccat has a clever solution to this. The keys themselves are their own indicators. For example, when numlock is active, the key will simply stay white instead of changing with whatever color effect is currently on the keyboard. Same with the caps and scroll lock. Now I could see this being kind of bothersome if you find having a few white keys in the middle of your RGB light show distracting. The underside of the keyboard has 5 rubberized pads and 2 rubberized extendable legs to keep the keyboard from sliding around the desk during use. There's also a cable management routing system that I really liked because it doesn't pinch the cable like a lot of them do. Overall, I do wish there was a row of dedicated macro keys on the left side of the board, and I think the software still has a little bit of ways to go in terms of ease of use for custom effects, but the feel of the switches and the compact design and the bold and beautiful LEDs make this keyboard a standout in my opinion. The Suora FX retails for $140. This does make it tough for me because for that price you could get a really good genuine Cherry MX RGB keyboard. Even though the TTC switches feel just as good, I'm not sure that they should cost as much as the real thing. Ultimately, I think the keyboard's big selling point comes down to aesthetics and the Swarm software. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below what you think about this keyboard, and consider giving this video a like if you enjoyed it to show your support. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you're new to the channel and you like my videos, because I've got a lot more content coming your way in the near future. You can also follow me on Twitter at BrainBeanGaming, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.